You're welcome back. This is NewsFile. It's your most authoritative news analysis platform, and I'm your host, Samson Ladi Anyenini. And today we have 5 whole hours dedicated to the final edition of the show for 2020. And this is the way we do it traditionally at the end of every year. We have guests who will come in one after the other from time to time. I mean, a set of guests coming in to deal with each of the issues that we are canvassing for you this morning. Well, some of them will stay longer because they will deal with issues straddle more than one issue on the show. However, we can assure you that we have the best team assembled to help us deal with the issues that we are canvassing and also the review of 2020, matters of the COVID-19, the market fires, the corruption situation, press freedom, economy, jobs, and security. We have the best team to deal with those issues for you, and I will be announcing who you would expect shortly. But a quick on my take, and I go to an issue that I have addressed a number of times, but needs addressing with some emphasis and certain aspects of the law. You know, the police this week went to the court. They went to the court on the blind side of the NDC that was planning some demonstrations. They went on their blind side. In law, it is known as going to the court ex parte, meaning you are going without the other party being part of it. In fact, it's the same way that the NDC or some individuals in the Akpafo Central Kofi areas in the Goan who are alleging that they have been disenfranchised in an unconstitutional manner and are challenging their disenfranchisement and therefore seeking to stop the processes that have gone on in Hohoi to have the elections there declared as incomplete or not consistent with law for as long as they have not been allowed to participate in the parliamentary elections. So as you may have heard in the course of the week, lawyer Chachi Chikata, together with a couple of other lawyers, went there as a team and secured an interim injunction through an ex parte application, meaning they went there without or on the blind side of the other party and secured a 10 days injunction against the Electoral Commission, against Amewu and other individuals. So the police did a similar thing. We have a law known as the Public Order Act. That law dictates how special events, and special events include demonstrations, protests, festivals, and so on. When you have to organize an event like that, which is a public event, the law says you require notification of the police. Notification, note. People continue to misuse and use the wrong nomenclature. They say seek a permit. In fact, I have used this platform to educate some police officers who also use the word permit before. The law does not require anybody to seek a permit. The law's requirement, mandatory, is that you notify the police. The police nearest to you, you send them a notice informing them of the intended event, and the notice must reach them at least 5 days, not less than 5 days, 5 days before the event you intend to organize. When they receive that notice, they are supposed to get back to you, the organizers of the special event, demonstration, protest, whatever, and inform you that they are ready, they are willing to put their, boots on the ground to provide protection for the demonstration. Or they may come back and say, we are unable to give you protection at this time because we have a certain number of activities that we are engaging in. Therefore, we will not be available. They may ask you to postpone it to a different date. The law says they could also ask you to change the time or to change the routes that you want to use, because you're supposed to give a list of all of this to them. If you wanted to use the Ridge Road somewhere, they could decide that for some specific reasons, they would prefer that you go through Kokomlemle to Circle without going through Ridge because of some, good reason. Now, when they get back to you, the law says you, the organizers, have 48 hours to get back to them, indicating agreement. And you must do so in writing, within 48 hours. Failure to give the notice is an offense punishable under law. You could go to jail for 1 year and you could pay a fine of about 3,000. Failure to reply them to indicate whether you accept their new arrangements or not also is an offense punishable by the same sanctions that I have spoken about. Question here is, we're told the police went to court. The NDC had notified them and they went to court and got an injunction. Question, did they notify the organizers after they received the notice to express to them any reservations and any challenges they have? Did they have the right to head straight to the court without reference to the parties involved and to negotiate anything? Well, the High Court had earlier in the Let My Vote Count demonstrations, of course, dominated, or if you like, an MPP organization, demonstrating against the EC and the police going for ex parte injunction. They went to the court, and the court, presided by a justice of the Court of Appeal, Justice Dennis Ejay, ruled that the police should not and must not go to the court on the blind side of the other party when they need to stop a demonstration. They used to go to the lower court, that is a district or circuit court. The court ruled that the law does not allow them to go to the lower court and that they could only go to the high court. And even that, they must do so on notice to the party that, they are seeking to injunct. There was a small caveat issued. But you can see in this particular case, the police went in the same manner that was prohibited. But of course, that was a high court. The high courts have what we call coordinate jurisdiction. So one high court can decide differently, or a high court presided by a different judge can decide differently. So they got an injunction stopping the NDC from its demonstrations in Accra. The point I need all of us to note is that by the Constitution, demonstrations are the fundamental human rights of everybody, not only citizens. The law uses people or a person. You are free to demonstrate, but under these rules, if you are obeying them, the police is also expected to obey them. Is the police obeying them? When they started the demonstrations, they were doing it without notice to the police, and everybody was not happy about that. If they will give you notice only for you to run to the court on their blind side to stop them in this way, then that certainly is not the best. And if you are doing a demonstration, also know that without the police protection, a lot of things can happen and you'll be punished. When damage occurs, you will have to pay for all the damage that occurs. You can demonstrate, but don't turn the demonstration into a riot, as we have seen. In some parts, the demonstrations have degenerated. So that's my take. The police ought not to use the notice as a means of seeking to stop a demonstration. It's not the best. Thank you very much.